Hello and welcome along to the start of another new season, our 18th one in charge of Bangor City in its FM21 Builder Nation story with me, Daniel. We're back for part 163, and as the title suggests, I think we've just had by far our best ever transfer window. We'll get to that in a moment. However, we will also be showing the first leg of our Champions League playoff today. And this is definitely, without a doubt, the hardest game we've had to get into the Champions League group stages. So Zenit are going to give us one hell of a test. We'll show the first leg away in Russia. But I wouldn't be shocked this year if we fell into the Europa League. And based on the coefficient, that might not be a bad thing. We'll see how the other Welsh sides have got on both in the transfer window and in European qualifiers too. So if you're looking forward to the new season and you are still enjoying the series, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content. You can catch up in the eye above for the Twitch channel for regular live streams and all the other stuff too. But let's crack on. There's nowhere else we can start bar our transfers because it's possibly been one of the best ones for us and for Welsh football too. The first man to leave was Dwayne Bamford. Now, came in on a free, played a year for us solidly, former Welsh international. However, he had reached the age of 32 and a couple of clubs had come in for £3 million, and Young Boys of Switzerland were one of them. I couldn't turn it down. On to this season. We've spent our biggest ever sum of money. We've got a record transfer, £11 million coming in. But we've still nearly made that back from 2 sales. Lots of players going out on loan and a couple of interesting ones too. But let's start with the big sales. Carlton Broadbent, the centre forward, has gone to Crystal Palace for £5 million. That's because we've got in a wonder kid on a free. It's as simple as that. He's the weakest of the strikers, albeit he was a bit younger than the rest. He didn't really have the same potential to improve. And he was the least rounded player, so he was the one that had to go. £5 million Crystal Palace have paid, a really good deal for us. And again, we got him for £1.5 million 2 years ago. We've made 3 times the money on a player that's been a backup the whole way through. We can't turn it down. The other one to go was Henry McWilliams, much the same situation. Southampton and a few other clubs bid £4.8 million, came on a free from Aberdeen in 2034. And what a player he's become as well. A really solid backup, played across a number of positions over his years at the club. And now, when we've got to the stage where we're too good for him, he's gone to a championship club and we've made a £5 million profit. It's an incredible bit of business in a transfer window. A few of the star loans, of course, Aid Tate just turned 17 and today, in fact, he's gone to TNS for a loan fee of £4,000. I think he's going to start for them. Might take him a little while to settle in. Came off the bench for us twice already this season. But if he develops at a professional club, he still does well. I think they've got a superstar in their hands. And the more people we can get to build the nation, the better. Looking across the rest of them, the other standout really was Christian Bellis. He was on loan last year at Newtown, but is a very good player at this level. Colwyn Bay have taken him to help the European run. And you can see by the fact that he's played 3 Europa Conference games already, they must have got through at least one tie. So that's positive news at the very least. The main reason we're here, though, is for Inns, because we have had by far our best summer. I don't think it's up for dispute. You can let me know in the comments if you disagree. You knew about the first name already, but the quality we've added across the board is just sensational. So we start at left back with Callum Fletcher, who you know about. A wonder kid, a 20-year-old England under-21 international, 3-star ability left back with 4-star potential. Bear that in mind as well. A wonder kid whose potential doesn't even reach what Bulkley and Reyes are currently at. That shows how strong our squad is now. But Fletcher will become first choice left back. Bektas will have to play the backup role for now. He played brilliantly in the League Cup game where he made his debut, and we will see him in action tonight. The thing that he's got over Bektas is he's a little better defensively. He's a little better physically, but not as good going forward. So the big games in Europe, he might be a big help to us. And for the future, he's our left back for the rest of this save. Absolutely no doubt about it. Next up is a wonder kid striker in Bojan Kvara. Now, ironically, I was a little bit disappointed with this one. Mainly because there were 2 wonder kid Croatian strikers I was chasing. And this guy was the least good of the 2. The other one went to one of the European elite clubs, so we can't argue with it. But this guy, not a bad replacement at all. 4-star ability advanced forward, probably a replacement for Kane Waters, if we're being honest. He's coming towards 30 and he's chasing that league goal scoring record. So to have Kvara in, electric quick, brilliant finisher and composure, but he's got a bit more of the all-round game than someone like, say, a Lloyd Goulding. So I can see a situation in the future where Kvara is partnered by somebody new. Maybe even Kean Bulkley, you never know. Let's move on next to our record signing. £11 million for Dani Gomez Garcia from Leicester, 24 years of age, former Spanish under-21 international. He's played games for Real Madrid, he's played full seasons for Leicester. I cannot see a way where he's not our box-to-box alongside Reyes, because he's got the physicality, his stamina, his natural fitness is great. He's 6'3", he's imposing, he works hard, he's great on the ball. He's got the whole package, and again, 12 grand a week. He was earning about 30 at Leicester. The next signing, though, I think is the most important of the summer. Jason Odell on loan from Tottenham. I'm hoping he'll become our new Kai McDonald, and we can just have him on loan every year till the end. Because Jason Odell, yes, he's a natural centre-half, but he's also a natural holding midfielder. We've talked a lot in the comments about an upgrade for Harvey Lloyd, and finding someone who was perhaps slightly better technically. But this guy, Jason Odell, also slightly better at the back. Also left-footed, which gives us a bit more balance in the team. He's a 3-star ball-winning midfielder. He's already better than Lloyd. He's on less than 20 grand a week from wage contributions. What a superstar. And at 21, the England under-21 international is going to improve. You'll notice that all of these kids have had really decent personalities as well. Something that I've valued really importantly in the recruitment. And Miguel Bryanes is the final one that may well fit in that mould as well. From Boca Juniors for 2.1 million. I just want to take a minute to point out the irony of this. Those who have been following since the very start back in season 1 will remember the Argentine-Italian owner, and we had to try and sign players from Argentina who were Argentinian, and we couldn't do it because of work permit rules, because of the level we were at, and because of Brexit for the Italian side. We've got to the ironic stage in the start of the 18th season, 17 years in, where we have signed an Argentine from Argentina. I had a little chuckle to myself when that one happened. £2.1 million. Again, a wonder kid, 19 years of age. He's a brilliant centre-half. He's already 3-star ability, so better than Mackenzie, up there with the likes of Mubarak Whelan and Brett Jennings. He won't get in ahead of our sort of Welsh youth intake stars. But looking further down, Whittaker's nearly 30. We sold Kelly last year, we've sold McWilliams. That's the answer. What a player he is. Got all the key attributes, got a good positioning stat. You know I love that in this tactic. And he's already been a star in the Welsh League game. So definitely a good sign for the future. So that, in a nutshell, is our transfer window. I'd love to know what you think of it, because it's probably the most excited I've been. It was one of those weird summers where loads of great players came up on free agent deals. So when we were signing Garcia, there was a Romanian centre mid from Borussia Dortmund who we'd pre-agreed a deal with. Didn't fit the box-to-box so well, but was a superstar player. The same as we were going for 2 Croatian strikers. There were just so many players about. We nearly re-signed Luke Williams, one of our former striking stars, but in the end he wasn't good enough, ironically. So I'm trying not to hold back the young players, whilst also improving the squad still for the immediate. And I feel this summer is the first time I've really got the balance of that right. And hopefully the Garcia signing does prove, if there is a player there, I will pay for them. It's not that I'm against it, it's just that they're not often players better for £10 million or £20 million than you can get on a free. And within the wage structure as well, that's a very important thing. Our board will still only let us offer around 25 grand a week. And with our income from domestic games, I don't really want to go above that. So let's go and have a look at the squad it leaves us with now. It's a pretty strong one in truth. The good news, Kyo Bulkley, listening to a new contract at the moment. Gavin Davis has signed a 4-year contract. We're keeping players ticking over, and nobody is at risk of going for a free unless we want them to. The only man who's weirdly fitted into this is Scott McKenzie. He runs out a contract next year. We've been trying to sell him for 3 or 4 summers. We've put him on transfer list. We've offered him out for nothing, £1 million. It's never worked. He's a good player. He always plays 15 or so league games for us. I'm just surprised no one's taken a punt on him for £1 million or even for free. But that's the squad we've got. We'd ideally like to loan Gwen Morgan out for the year, just until McDonald's loan finishes. And we would like to sell Mackenzie. But apart from that, I've got a squad I'm delighted with. We could do with a second quality striker, but I'm kind of giving Bulkley the chance to develop and become that. At 16, he's come on leaps and bounds. A couple of you guys in the comments were definitely right with that. But this squad is the most prepared we've been for a European season. And what's ironic is with the opposition we've got, might be the first year we don't have Champions League football for a while. Let's go and quickly have a look at how the other sides have got on though, both in the window and in terms of European qualifiers. So firstly, we'll look at the Welsh window as a whole. Obviously TNS have just signed a player from us. But in terms of deals, they have bought a couple of decent players in. If we get it to the highest fee first, TNS have bought in 4 paid players. So Cammy Morrison is the first of them. Good centre forward, likes to get in behind, but can also play as a creative midfielder. We've got Alay Usman. He's come in as a left centre half, and again, solid player. Probably not quite the standard of player I was hoping for, given some of the ones they signed in January and the year before, but they're still good. Joseph Kamara, a holding midfielder, he looks a great player for a small fee. And again, all of the ones that TNS are signing are relatively young, 25 or under on the most part. James Mann was the final one, 11.5 grand. More experienced winger, but just as a backup, I guess, on the right wing. Barrytown United, the same. Kerry Ifield, their biggest signing. Not quite as big as TNS, but paying out a little bit more, getting £1,000 a week in for players. And they've managed to get a decent team together that hopefully can compete in Europe. If they end up in the Europa Conference, it might actually end up being a good thing for them. There were a few other free agents and loans. We're seeing Cardiff Met Uni's players start to leave now. One of them gone to TNS. Matthew Da Silva, the left back, very good player to be fair to him. We've also seen Scott Gallagher go from Notts County on a free. That was pre-agreed, but a solid player nonetheless. And then finally, obviously we mentioned A. Tate, but Barrytown United got one in as well. They signed Duncan Ryan Phillips, again from Cardiff Met Uni, but a good player that continues to improve the squad. So things looking decent. Colwyn Bay improving lots of players as well. Newtown really making a go of it the last couple of years. Quality player they've got on loan from Burnley. Look at him, Stephen Rush. I think Newtown could be our little dark horses this year to get up to maybe 3rd or 4th. So lots of excitement across the board. Let's very quickly finish our summer review by having a look at how the other teams have got on in Europe. TNS did their job. They won their second qualifying round 3-0 against Russian opposition in Ural. They were 3 up after 20 minutes. It won them the tie. And in the second leg, they got a solid draw on the road. James Mann, ironically, starting and getting the goal there. Not played any of the domestic fixtures, though. They then got a creditable draw at home to Hertha Berlin, but did lose out in the tie. That means, going out in the third qualifying round, they will be in the Europa League draw yet again this year. Good consistency, and hopefully they can stay in Europe of some form after Christmas again. They have got star players now as well. Venados has really developed. Going professional has helped them. He's a superstar. Could get into our squad as a backup. And the other one, I know they spent big money on Thomas Windsor in January, who is good as well. But the other one that they've got superstardom out of is the holding midfielder. Let me just go and find him. His name was Ruben Bates. So they signed him for 100 grand a couple of years ago. And he's coming on very well as well. So a very good midfield TNS are building. I wouldn't mind them strengthening in other areas too. Let's get on to Barrytown United. They will start in the Europa League playoff. They've got an arguably winnable tie against Austrian opposition. So hopefully Europa League football for them. But at the very worst, they're going to be in the group stages of something. And then the shock again is Colwyn Bay. They are coming on leaps and bounds in this save. They're improving their squad slowly. We gave them Christian Bellis, of course. And now, let's have a look at them. They're flying. And again, they've got a possibly winnable tie in the playoff for the Europa Conference. They faced Shamrock Rovers of the Republic of Ireland. They had a fairly fortunate tie in the second qualifying round against Vikingor, they're of the Faroe Islands. Then beat Mura of Slovenia, 2-1 in the second leg away from home. And now if they can get past Shamrock Rovers, we could have 4 sides in the European group stages. Now that will make a big difference. The disappointment, unfortunately, was Cardiff Met Uni. A lot of their players have gone this summer, and they did crash out of Europe. They played against a side from Ukraine, I think it was, yeah. Lost 3-0 on aggregate, never looked like getting through. And I'm ironically hoping that Newtown overtake them this year. They're professional, they've got some good players on loan, they've got some good players permanently, as you can see there. I think Newtown could be the next club that make it. And if they get there this year, it should solve their finances too. So a very busy summer special, but let's go and crack on with our game today. We've had 2 already this season from competitive fixtures, an 8-0 win against Rill in the League Cup second round. Cavara got 2 on debut, Geffin Davis got 2 as well, and then Garcia with a debutant goal off the bench, plus Srom, Jones and Goulding getting 1 apiece. A 2-0 win at home to Swansea Uni in the first league game of the season, Wardson Srom there as well. Srom missed the penalty, put the rebound in. But to be honest, considering we've not played our first 11 yet this year, that's a pretty good start. So against Zenit, we have got our most difficult Champions League playoff by far. This is going to be so difficult. Look at their key player. Ben Amar it is. 4-star ability, better than any of our centre midfielders bar Ruben Reyes. He's a star and he's only 29. They've got players in their peak. They're not ones that are 34, 35 over the hill. They have got a team full of players in their peak. Their goalkeeper worth £11 million. 3-star ability, Russian international. They've got an Irish midfielder and striker. 3-star ability. Their squad is very similar to ours. Now, we have had some good days, particularly in the knockout rounds in Europe against sides like this. However, they've mainly been from sort of Western Europe, so very close to home. Not the big travel to Russia, not the time zone differences. And we also normally are well into the season when we've got everyone match fit. We're at the stage where we're still a little bit pre-season-esque and we do miss having those early qualifiers. So let's see today if we can produce the goods. All I want to do really is hold them. Get ourselves in an assertive position for the home leg. Let's go and see if we can do it. We'll pick our team for today. We'll be back in a moment to run through the 11. So I've got to say, looking at this, you might argue that our starting 11 isn't much stronger than last year, and you could be right on that front. But you can't argue with the strength of the bench. We have never had a bench with what was last season's 2 first-choice fullbacks, first-choice holding midfielder, a centre-half that's as good as Jennings. They're basically like for like. Then Tom Jones and Kane Waters, who's been a star striker for years. We are in a position we've never been before for squad depth. The starting 11 though is harmed slightly. Ruben Reyes is suspended for this one. That means we've got Ludomir Strom coming in. It's between him and Davis, and Strom's the more defensively minded, the harder worker, the more physical. And I feel that's what we need on the road in Europe, particularly given Zenit's midfield. So our lineup for today is Samankas between the sticks, Nenov and Fletcher the fullbacks, Jennings and Whittaker at centre-half. Odell and Garcia, new faces in the diamond, but Strom and Bulkley alongside them. And then Goulding and Kvara up front. Goulding's actually rated the worst striker by the coaches, but he's got the finishing, the composure and the pace. And that combined in Europe on the road is something I feel we have to give a chance to. We've got great game changers if we need them. We've got a pretty good looking squad here. Let's see if we can get the result on the road and take control of the tie ahead of the second leg at the racecourse. Here we go then. Most of the stars we looked at are in that team. The keeper, Ben Amar. Who else did we see? Bozic, the striker, Paul Baines. And in fact, some of them we looked at are on the bench, which shows just how strong their squad is. My hope is, for efficiency, that we can get a good win in this game, not have to worry about showing the second leg on camera and crack straight on with the group stages. But of course, things don't work out how you hope all the time, do they? We've had same problems in knockout rounds before, but today is a moment of real optimism. We go on the road and we've got an opportunity as Fletcher plays to Kvara. Chance to see some of the new players in action. That's exciting enough. Kyo Bulkley hopefully signing a new deal, tying him down for 5 years. Should take us through to the end of the save really, given where we are. And early doors, we've had a lot of pressure on the front foot. Though Zenit have got a throw at the left back area here. Makengo plays a 1-2 and then goes long downfield. Bozic, the Croatian, gets in. Towards the penalty area he goes. We hold him up, don't foul him, Jennings. Forces him into the shot to the side netting. Excellent defending from the young Welshman. Because he could have dived in there. He could have been rash and conceded the pen. But he made sure he didn't. Let's see what formation Zenit are playing. We'll have a look after this highlight by the looks of it. Nenov into Gomez Garcia. Plays a 1-2 with him. Can someone deliver? Into Kyo Bulkley. That's twice he's got on the end of them in the box with headers. But that one, again, pretty comfortably over the bar. It's been a good game though. And we've seen a lot of action down this right-hand side. As Nenov throws in, it's a poor ball. Makengo away. Bozic has beaten Whittaker. We're in trouble here. Bozic into the box. It's the second time he's done so. But that's why you have a top-class keeper. Samankas saves the day. Zenit playing the back three, which explains the problems we're having. 2 players up front and the wing-backs too. As Whittaker heads away a free kick, you can definitely tell this isn't the type of game that's going to be a 3-4-0 on the road. This is going to be tense. This is going to be tight. And with players tiring who haven't got pre-season fitness under their belts, that could be a problem later on. As the Russian number 1 takes the big goal kick over the top. Jennings heads away, but it's only as far as the wing-back. And they've got that assertive dominance out wide. Something we're going to have to learn to deal with on the road. Amar chips it up to Bozic. He's in one-on-one. But this time it's into the side netting. Samankas did well to narrow the angle. But this has been a tough game so far. Zenit probably just edging it in the stats. Certainly had the better chances as they throw in from the right again. They're causing problems for us out wide. We might have to adapt here as Bozic is in for a 3rd time. Hedge just over the bar. I'm going to demand a bit more because we've not been great here. As Whittaker gets the ball from the short goal kick. I'm just thinking, is there a way we can go to wingers? We've definitely got wing backs, but I don't think players that can play out wide, other than maybe the likes of Waters and Goulding. Though Kvara's just picks up a knock, so we are probably going to see Kane Waters at half-time. Fletcher gets the ball on the left. Can we work an opening? Away goal still so crucial. As Strom gets it edge of the box. Goes back to Odell, doesn't take the chance. Gomez Garcia though to Goulding, to Bulkley. In one-on-one, dinks the keeper. We've got the one world-class player in Kyo Bulkley. And whether he's unhappy, whether he's under transfer bid, whether he signed new contracts or not, he always delivers on the biggest stage. Zenit St Petersburg 0, Bangor City 1. And you know who, it's Kyo Bulkley. What a goal, what a composure, and what a finish. As Fletcher plays back to Odell, to Strom, into Bulkley, wide to Fletcher. Can it build the confidence? Can we get momentum? Fletcher into Kvara! And now the Wonder Kid does it. The man who could be our second permanent world-class player is the man who scores even with a knock. And in 5 minutes, 2 top-class stars have changed this tie on its head. Our only 2 shots on target in a game where we've largely been second best. As look who's made it 3. Gomez Garcia from a header. What on earth has happened in those 5 minutes? We were second best for 40 minutes there. And then 3 top-class players have turned up and made this a comfortable night at the office. And that's why I wanted to improve the squad for the here and now as well as the future. Because we're now in a position where people like Gomez Garcia and Kvara, as well as Bulkley, can just turn up and turn a game like that. Click of a finger is 3-0 and Kvara can now get a rest for Waters. What a performance in the last 5 of that half. But Zenit looked a great side up to that point. As we've got a free kick with Bulkley, 5 gone in the second half. It's tipped wide at the post by the keeper. Might have been just beating the woodwork anyway, but no chances taken by the Russian. It's going to be a corner kick for Bulkley. The man who turned this game on his head gets it into Gomez Garcia and it's headed over. Don't forget, as well as the goal, Bulkley definitely set up the Gomez Garcia goal with a cross. Not sure about the other one. I think that was created by Fletcher, wasn't it? The other new Wonder Kid signing. Just shows how important our recruitment was. And I think it has been our best summer as Zenit get one back. This is what we can't allow. If Zenit can get 2 goals, which, let's be honest, they've shown they can do in this tie so far, it could make the second leg interesting. But at the moment, I'm comfortable on the road. Bozic has been a superstar for Zenit. But we look good. 3-1 Bangor City lead, and it's almost time for substitutions. Well, into stoppage time we go. The substitutions just stop the game in its tracks. We do it so often. McDonald brought experience on at right back. Harvey Lloyd brought on that bite in midfield. Odell was on the yellow, so it allowed a holding midfielder to go in and try and win the ball again. So we played really well. We got the 3-1 win. But let's be honest, if Bozic had had his scoring boots on up front, that could have been a very different game. We certainly didn't dominate it, and we're lucky to be in control of the tie. It does mean, though, we can skip straight to the group stages now. Well, thankfully, Kvara's only out for 6 days, so he would have been rested at the weekend anyway, and he'll be back for the second leg. Let's go and have a look at the schedule, though. We're going to skip that now because I think we're comfortably through with that 3-1 away win. It could have been very different, though. That was a bit of a scare. Zenit at home, we should get through comfortably, and then we'll be back around the middle of September for what I hope now will be our first Champions League game. The question is, though, will we be looking at just TNS and Barry in the group stages with us? Or will Colwyn Bay sneak into the Europa Conference too? If we can get 4 teams in the group stages, it just shows the progress again. We had 2, then we had 3, and now we're on the cusp of 4. If you're looking forward to finding out and seeing what our Champions League group looks like, and how many of the other sides can join us, as well as the end of the Welsh transfer window, of course, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content, every weekday from this series and the weekends from our Saving Spurs one. There's links to the Twitch channel up in the eye above with regular live streams and the football podcast with championship predictions too. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the transfer window. I think it was our best one yet. And surely the goals that we scored on the road in that game proved it. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And I'll see you next time for group stage football, hopefully in the Champions League again.